Now that we got the little trees in the background, I've been trying to decide what I want with this foreground area. I'm going to take a little bit of blue. Okay. Need a little bit of a place where I can put this on my tray so I can see what's going on. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I'm going to start up over here, and I'm going to make this kind of come down diagonally across the area, pretty light. And then kind of disappear off the page here. And it's going to start out smaller up through here. And then get a little wider down here. Very irregular on the edge though. Okay, I don't want it to be too terribly crazy. And then eventually it comes down here where we have the whole thing. And it doesn't have to be a complete just wash thing like that, but a little bit of a, it's a stream. So we just put a little bit of a stream in there, like that. Then we'll let that dry for a second. Let's do some cool things in with that. It has a lot of the texture of the paper showing through. It's a little bit darker down at this edge here and going lighter up at the top on those. I like that. Let's go ahead and do this as well while I'm here. So I established where I want my stream to be. I'm going to put a fence in here too. A fence? Yeah, a fence. I think it could use a fence, don't you? And so I'm just going to put in kind of the verticals of my fence. And these are kind of, they need to be kind of rugged. Okay, this is kind of like that split rail type of a fence or something here. And then maybe over here another piece. Come down here. Now they got to be the same size. The tendency is to want to make them bigger as you go across. And then have them about the same spacing, you know, from place to place to place. And they don't have to be exactly all the same. Like I said, I wanted them a little more rugged looking, like that. Then we'll kind of let that dry a little bit. So I got my verticals in. Like I said, they'll dry pretty quick, and then I'm going to put in some horizontals on that. And these are also jagged. And if they cover up a little bit of the tree trunk, so be it. And they don't have to start and stop at the exact same height. You'll notice that there's can be some irregularities in there. And then let's put in the bottom one. Thinking it'll probably be about 3 rails. And this is it's fairly light, mainly because I want to be able to put some detail on it, so that we have the lights, mediums, and the dark like we did with our tree trunks. Okay. And then most split rail has, we're just doing a 3 on that. That way it looks like a fence on that if you have the 3 rails dividers. And that was actually real helpful as we start to look at our foreground now on that one. It's starting to look pretty good. Has some stuff in it. And let's let that dry a little bit. And while that's drying, the nice thing about once you start going with some things, you areas that you're working on, they're going to start to dry on that, which is kind of cool. Let's just, okay. The water is kind of dry down here, right? And a lot of times you can actually see the bank where it's undercut a little bit. And so this is a little bit of brown, a little bit of green that we're going to put in here. And in some areas you see the bank a little bit more. And so they can be brownishy, greenishy. Don't want to have it all just brown, right? Because that's what we established as some of our stuff with the fence. Like that, some areas you see quite well. You see those, and then other parts it's kind of overgrown a little. Now this part over here you don't see as much because it's your perspective is you don't see that. This needs a little more brown in it here. Like I said, I like it having a little bit of brown and green in it. There's some brown. That maybe went too dark. I'm going to pull a little bit of pigment out of this because it was looking to be too dark. Well, that's probably pretty good. Let's